What's up, everyone? It's your boy Tyler. It's another episode of Drawn Talk, and it's an early morning one. It is an early morning episode. My wife's at work right now. She's not, that Black Friday retail life. And, I just thought I'd do an episode. I haven't done this in a while, guys. I feel bad. I haven't done one this week, except for like Monday. And I'm sorry, I've just been like really busy with family stuff. But I want to give you guys an update on what I'm doing. But today we're going to be reviewing a comic called Welcome to the Void. And I'm going to be talking about how music as a storytelling mechanic actually really works for this comic. And I'm going to talk about the stuff that I didn't like about the comic and the stuff I do like about the comic. After the last comic book review I did, I think it was Monday, I got a lot of people messaging me saying, "Hey, Tyler, will you review my comic? Will you tear it apart?" And I don't like tearing comics apart. I just point out what I don't like, and I try to find elements in there that I think I can use as a video and as a teaching moment. So the last video was about, how I think pacing and dialogue is super important in a comic book. And, for this one, today I'm going to talk about how music as a storytelling mechanic can be really good. It was something really unique to this comic. But to give you guys an update on what I'm doing with my life right now, got that video job I was hoping for. And on Monday, I'll be negotiating to see if I actually take it. But they offered me something, so that was cool. Demons, I should be getting the physical books on Friday. Fingers crossed. So yeah, fingers crossed. And then also, I'll be sending out the digital rewards hopefully by the end of the week. I'm just going to create a Dropbox, and then, everyone will have a week to just, download their books. And then I'm just going to be working on the commissions that I have for this week for the backers. And then after that, I'm back working on Undead Row with Wes Nodell, and I'm super pumped for that. Hold on. All right, I didn't want you guys to hear that. Okay. So with that being said, let's read Welcome to the Void. We're not going to read all of it. I don't want to show the entire comic, but there's some elements I want to show that are good and some elements I want to show that are bad. And when I say bad, I'm saying that in like the most constructive criticism way, because this isn't a bad comic. And most indie comics I read, they aren't bad comics. They are good comics. I just want to point out some stuff that I personally don't like. Remember, these are just my opinions. I'm not a professional. So yeah. Hello, Tyrion. How you doing, bro? How's your comic going? Have you added me on Instagram or Twitter? I'd love to see what you're up to. So hit me up on there. I put my link I put my Twitter handle and my Instagram handle in the chat. So yeah. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's look at Welcome to the Void. Guys, I'm super pumped. I've read this book like 5-10 times already. And I did that to make sure that I had a good review, and two, I just really liked it. So thanks, Tyrion. And yeah, all right, guys, let's start. Let's look at the Welcome to the Void. Okay, so let me screen share real quick. Okay. I want to make sure that this looks good for you guys. All right, perfect. All right, so let's start off with the cover. First off, this is a bad A cover. I'm gonna zoom out a little. This is a bad A cover. This is a cover where if I were just walking past the stands and I saw this cover, I would immediately buy the book. It is so good. It's a Don Edwards cover. You can tell. I can tell in the indie world, Don's covers. He just has a certain style. So I really like this cover. Look at this. I like, one thing I hate about my comics is I feel like I don't have really cool logos. It could have just been Welcome to the Void, but then they added this thing. That's so baller. So, and it's by Chuck Pino, Sean Barber, and I don't know who this is, but Pierce. I think that he's the letter. Or the art. I don't know. But I know Chuck Pino, I know Sean Barber. So yeah, and then everyone who's watching, by the way, if you want to say hi in the chat, just say hi, and I will totally read out your chat. But thanks, Tyrion Talbert, thanks for checking it out. And then, so yeah, this cover is awesome. This cover is awesome. But here's the thing: my biggest problem with the cover is that is the only thing. My first thing I'm just gonna say right off the bat is that I love this cover, but we actually don't get to see this guy until the very end, and I'm not gonna show you it. But that was my only thing. I was kind of disappointed by it. It was like half this because I was like, oh, I want to see this guy in the comic, but he only got like one page. But I know he's gonna be a bigger role in the second issue, so that's totally fine. So yeah. If anything, it's just good to like, entice you to come read the book, and it did. So okay. And also right off the bat, I just want to say this, the lettering, I wasn't the biggest fan of the lettering. That was another thing is I wasn't really a big fan of the lettering. So I'm not going to talk about the lettering anymore. Other than like, I wasn't a big fan. There were some elements where it was kind of hard, but it wasn't like bad. I could still understand it. I knew what was going on. I just wasn't a big fan of the style. So that was it. Okay. So, it's about, we got this character right here, okay, and he's a dishwasher, and most of the book takes place in this restaurant with him like listening to music, and he's doing the dishes at this restaurant. He's got this like mean manager. He's like, Manuel, get the cutlery done, and freaking Michael, shift manager. And I like this zoom in. It lets us know who this guy is. Lets us know he works at this restaurant. And then it said, this is important, and I want to read this. It says, I don't want to be a superhero. Never really cared about society. I don't want to be a superhero. I don't care, so don't call me. Guys, those musical lines, I didn't realize it at first until like my second read through that was like, that those lines were so important and crucial to the comic. When I got done reading the comic the first time, I was kind of like, I didn't like that because I felt like Manuel, that there wasn't very much character development with Manuel. And man, was I wrong. Those 4 lines, those musical lines are actually like the most critical, important character development lines for the entire comic. And it was so like smartly, is that even a word, like put into the comic. The fact that I don't need to know much about, this character Manuel, except the fact that he's listening to a song that says, I don't want to be a superhero, never really cared about society. I don't want to be a superhero. I don't care, so don't call me. You'll see why. Well, I mean, I don't want to show you everything, but you'll see why those are so important. So then we get these, girls waitresses. Check out that booty. Where can I go to this place? And then one thing I really liked about this comic is the importance of silent panels. I think one problem that indie comics have is that we feel as writers, and I have this problem too, I struggle with it, is that we feel that every panel needs to have some form of dialogue. And that's not it. We know, let the art speak for itself. Dirty dishes, him concentrating, doing dishes, doing more dishes, done. And we didn't need like some narration. We didn't need him saying, I think I should do these dishes. These dishes are really hard. No, we didn't need that. So I like that. Okay. So I really like that. So now let's go right here. This panel, I wasn't a very big fan of because I thought it was too long. There's a lot of dead space right here. Maybe if there had been like some dialogue or something, but I felt like there was a lot of dead space in there. Don't hit women, everyone. And then once again, I thought there was a little more dead space. Maybe there could have been something else. Like, I don't know. And then finally, I think this is the last thing that I didn't like about the book was just this fight scene. I thought the choreography was a little bad. And that's not the writer, it's the artist. I didn't like this panel. I thought it was a girl at first because of the fingernails, but that was just my fault. So it goes there. I thought maybe like this panel could have gone down a little, but it does make sense. I didn't like this angle. I thought they could have utilized this space right here. So boom, 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 kicks in the face. Okay, so I got a lot of heat from the other review saying there was no development on. Why was I critiquing another person's character because there was no development on fighting? Well, that goes back to those 4 lines. I don't want to be a superhero. Clearly, we know that this guy he has some superhero tendencies. He's got something in him. So him kicking, it makes perfect sense. And that's because of the music. You know, Chuck used music as a storytelling mechanic. Super smart, and that created the character development that we needed to understand this move that he does. I'm not gonna try to do this move. I know I'll break my leg if I do it. And then I thought this was a little too small. These next panels, maybe this fight scene could have been like 2 pages long, I think. But still, overall, it was good. And then this was my only thing. This is my last thing that I'll show you guys before the very end. Is well, the fight scene is 2 pages long. Maybe it was like 3 pages long. But he smacks him into the freaking wall. And he says, "Are you done?" And clearly now we know, okay, this guy has magic powers. And then if you connect that with the music, he doesn't want to be part of this magic powers. But then all of a sudden right here, I mean, he's on the wall. Look how far away he's from the wall now. That was my only, complaint. And then finally, guys, look at this panel. That's so effing sick. That's freaking sick. So I'm not going to show you guys the rest of the comic, but basically after the, after that, he's figuring out his life. It's not, his life is like kind of like going to crap. I mean, one thing I liked was that he was texting on the toilet and they showed it. And come on, everyone. Who doesn't text on the freaking toilet? We all text on the freaking toilet. So yeah, who doesn't text on the freaking toilet? I thought, very real world, he's stressed about his rent and, and he's going on a run and he's listening to the same song over and over again. And, gosh, I don't want to show too much. I'm going to show this panel, Chuck. I'm sorry. I don't, but this right here, this panel was so different than every other. This one right here was so different than every other like panel, because he's just so angry. He just yells because he's thinking about his life and he's so stressed. I loved this panel. It really it really showed off how freaking stressed he was. And the colors were different. I mean, holy crap, that was so smart to do. That was really smart. And then, at the end, there's this really cool, he gets morphed into the tree and then that he's sitting on. And then finally then we meet, and then we meet the dude who's on the cover and he says, "Welcome to the void." And we're going to learn more about what the void is. But you know what? But we have enough understanding though of the character on who he is and what he's about. We know that we now know after you're done reading the comic, and this is a comic you should read like 2 or 3 times, is that sorry guys, I'm sick. Is that I don't know what I was saying, so rewind. What? This is what we realize about the character. You got to read the comic like 2 or 3 times, and this is what you'll learn. You'll learn that the character, okay, has kind of, a typical like day job life. Okay, but he's kind of, he's kind of swimming in debt, I'm guessing. He can't pay his rent. He's kind of late. But everyone knows he's a good kid. Okay, everyone knows he's a good kid. I mean, his manager treats him a little, not, he's like, his manager knows he's a hard worker. His rent, even his landlord's like, "I don't want to kick you out." And everyone everyone kind of knows, like even those girls, the booty, are like, Manny's a good guy. However, he doesn't talk very much. Manny doesn't talk very much. We know he's got magic powers. We know he can fight. And, when people say, how's that character development? Well, listen to the song. The song, that he's listening to, "Don't call me a superhero." Clearly he knows he has said abilities and he doesn't want to use them. He doesn't want to be a part of it. He knows, what he can be. And he doesn't want to use it. He doesn't want that to be his life. So, music, guys, music as a storytelling mechanic. I haven't seen this before, and it's really smart writing. It's really creative. I've thought about doing it before, but it's something I've never really like gone into. And so I've never seen anyone else do it. So go Chuck for writing that. Guys, when you're writing, there are so many different ways to show off your character's and give them like the development that they need, without having to explain the entire backstory of everything. I know a lot of indie comics, and know we want to show off everything. We want to show off the origin. We want to pick apart every aspect of their head, like the narration. My biggest qualm with like indie comics is when there's like they're like when like let's say there's a shootout and they're like thinking, and it shows like the dialogue, and they go, oh, I gotta get to that wall, it'll protect me. Like, no, don't write that. Show the expression. Or like, the explosion, they're just basically telling you everything they gotta do. I gotta go save her, she's important to everything, and you're just like, it's bad writing. I'm looking at a page right now. 1, 2, 3 big panels. Artwork is great. There's only 2 lines of dialogue. There's two balloons, dialogue balloons, and then they let the art speak for itself. This is a comic. Let the art speak for its freaking self. Just do some minimal dialogue. Get the story across. If you want a good story, don't shove it with dialogue. It's not necessary. That fight scene was there's 1, 2, there's 3 dialogue balloons. Yeah. And you know what? It's not him like punching, like if I catch his arm, I'm gonna do this. Oh no, I'll have to kick him in the face. Oh, I'm gonna throw him in the wall. Like, no, just let the fight scene happen. Can you imagine like watching like a freaking like, I don't know, action movie like Jason Bourne while he's like doing his move, he's just like calculating it in front of you. It works with like the Sherlock movies, with Robert Downey Jr., but he does that beforehand, and then he actually does the fight so that we can see it and it's silent, So, gosh, yeah. So, got dialogue, guys. This comic, like I said, the one things I had problems with were at the beginning, I didn't think like Manuel had good character development. Then I was proven wrong because of the music after I read it a couple times. And then I wasn't a big fan of the lettering. It's like I said, though, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't my favorite. And then there were some panels where I was like, there's a little too much empty space that could have been used for something different. And that's just, for the artist for next time. And then there were some angles on the fight scene I thought could be better. But overall, guys, like this is a good looking comic. There's a lot of detail. It's a good looking comic. And yeah, I just really liked the music as a storytelling thing. I thought it was awesome. So good job. Welcome to the Void team. And I'm excited for number 2. I know I've talked with Chuck before, and he says that they're working on it and that it's going to be even better. So I'm pumped. Oh yeah. And I also didn't like that the dude on the cover was only on the last page, just because I really wanted to see him because he looks like a bad A. So I don't know. Maybe it could have been like, here's the thing though, looking at the book, I don't know what it could have been. Like, I think it might have needed to be that dude, because most of the book just happens in like a restaurant. So that might have just had that's a good marketing ploy, actually. We have Tyrion Tolbert saying you're hitting crucial points. I'm taking notes. Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm taking notes as well. I look back at some of my comics that I'm making right now, and I'm like, oh, did I put too much dialogue in it? And that's just bad storytelling on my part. I need to work on that. I'm not perfect. So, I'm just looking at this art, guys. I really like my favorite scene. It really is the dishwasher scene where he's washing the dishes. It's like the art. They let the art speak for itself. That's what's so important. You let the art speak for itself. Writers, we feel like we have to get everything in there. We feel like we have to write everything. We treat your audience like they're smart. Okay, don't treat your audience like they're dumb. I know a lot of people say, treat your audience like they're dumb, but with comics, it's a little different. I think, instead of a novel where you have to explain every detail and give them like the imagination, let your artist do most of the work. And as an artist, I hate that, but it's true. As an artist, we're in charge of showing the visualization of what is being written. Let the comic writer, just take a chill pill. If you guys saw some of the scripts that I did for any of my comics, you guys would do a double backflip. Even if it wasn't possible for you to do a double backflip, you do a double backflip. My scripts are so lazy. Most of the time it's just Ace. It was like for like demons, it's like Ace looking at a demon. And then my artist would do everything else. Travis would do everything else. Or Ace running through the city. And then he would do it all else. And the reason why is because I let the artist, take point. And then I don't even explain it to the reader. I don't say Ace is running against a criminal. No, I don't do that. I don't do that. The artist's life is a never-ending hustle. It's so true. It's so true. It is so true. So yeah, guys, that's Welcome to the Void. I really recommend it. It's a good book. It's not perfect, obviously. This is the first. This is indie comic. We're all working on things, but it's good. I enjoyed it. And I'd read it again because I've actually been reading it while I've been talking to you guys. So yeah. Music as a storytelling mechanic. I'd love to, now that I'm thinking about it, what are some other ways that you think you could write a story and create the character development or story development without actually writing it or art? I know music is one of them. What if there's another way? I know that with Watchmen, Alan Moore, he did a comic within a comic, and that was another way of creating the story, and that was kind of crazy. What are some other ways? What are some other mechanics that you could use? I don't know. My friend Justin Ori, he's working on a comic right now, and every issue it'll come with a song that's recorded from him and his friends' music. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. So yeah, I don't know. So guys, tell me what you guys think. What you guys think? Was I right? Was I wrong? I'm just trying to make good content. I know I can sometimes piss people off with my views and whatnot, and I'm not trying to be a dick or anything. I'm just trying to, show what I think is good and what I don't think is good. The last review I got some flack on. I thought I did a good job, but some people have differing opinions. So, but I meant everything I said. That's the thing. If I review your book, and I got tons of people emailing me after that saying, "Hey, will you review my book?" If I review your book, I'm gonna tear it to shreds if it needs to be. If I need to tear it to shreds. And I felt like I didn't really tear it to shreds. I was just trying to show off the importance of consistency, dialogue, and pacing. And I felt and I know the reviewer didn't like it at all. No, the writer didn't like it at all. Which is fine. What I didn't like though was the week long, the 3-day social media blast, which means I have to create a video called "How to Handle Criticism of Your Review," because every comic book needs to be broken down. You need to be reviewed. Every comic book should be criticized. You should be critical of your own work. There are videos on YouTube. There are reviews where people have reviewed Demons and they have just torn it to shreds. And I was just like, oh my gosh, chill guys, I'm working my butt off. And because of those bad reviews though, I try to improve on the next ones. But just if you're hung up on one review and then the worst part is when you're trying to seek validation. Oh, that's the worst part. Okay, fine. Go find someone to blow sunshine up your ass. That's fine, but they're not going to be critical of you. We got Pete Marquez here. What's up, dude? How you doing? You don't, if you're going to get a review, get a review from someone honest. Get a review from someone honest, who has no skin in the game. I have no skin in the game. So I'm going to review your comic and I'm going to tell you guys what I think of the comic. Yeah, but don't go seeking validation oh, this guy reviewed my comic, I think he's wrong, what do you think? And then tell your friends to review it and then say, oh yeah, well they told me it was good, so screw you. Geez Louise. We got Christopher C saying, I think your review was fair. Thanks, Chris. I really tried, and I complimented it as well. I loved the cover. I love the premise of the story. I love the first 6 pages. I love the coloring. I love the structure of the panel. I love that double page spread. I love the cat. I mean, I don't know what else I can say. I liked the book. So yeah. Yeah. By the way, guys, did any of you guys go Black Friday shopping for comic books? I don't buy a lot of physical books anymore just because I don't have a lot of space for them. But I picked up Kill or Be Killed volumes 3 and 4 so I can finally finish the series. What books did you guys pick up? Did you guys pick up anything? I know on Comixology, oh my gosh, guys, on Comixology, they had such good deals for graphic novels. Most of them were $4.99. I got Sleeper book 1. That's a 500-page graphic novel. I got it for $4.99. Then I picked up The Losers book 1. I picked up John Constantine Hellblazer volume 1, and I picked up Superman for Tomorrow, all for $4.99. Freaking good deal. And I'm super pumped to read these. And another reason why I bought these books is to help me as a writer and artist. And so maybe I'll talk about that real quick and then we'll end the show in 10, 15 minutes. So I got Superman for Tomorrow because I feel like I always read Batman, guys. I'm a religious Batman reader. I need a Superman book. I need someone with superpowers. I need to learn how to draw that kind of stuff. I don't know how to draw that kind of stuff. So I picked up Superman, so I get a real sense of a superhero book. And it's by Brian Azzarello and Jim Lee, and those guys are great. And the art's going to be great no matter what. I picked up John Constantine Hellblazer just because I'm really into magic books. That's also maybe why I liked Welcome to the Void, is because I'm really into magic and stuff like that. I'm curious to see where Chuck's going to go with his book. But I'm really into magic and stuff. I mean, Demons is, volumes 1, 2, and 3. They're about heaven, hell, and magic. And I'll have, by the way, if you weren't able to back the Kickstarter, I will be, once I get the books, I'll create a store and then you can order it and I'll send it to you. I picked up The Losers because of Jock, because of the artist Jock. He's one of my favorite artists, and I really try to emulate his style when it comes to my traditional artwork. So I want to see how he does his panel layouts and his art. And then I picked up Sleeper book 1 because it's by my 2 favorite creators, Ed Brubacher and Sean Phillips. And Sean Phillips is a huge itching my back influence on my art. And I want to fuse Sean Phillips, Jock into me. That's what I want to do. Find what I like in both of them. And then I've been told I have a Declan Shelby feel to my artwork. So that's always nice. So yeah, guys, if any of you guys are watching, let's, if you want, for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Okay. Click on the link. You can get in the chat and we can just, have a good time and talk. So yeah, hit the link if you want to come on the show right now and we can talk, voice to voice. Hit that link in the chat right now, and you'll be transported to the Google Hangouts. You don't have to have a mic. You don't have to have a microphone. We have to have some kind of microphone. You can do it on your phone. I've done it plenty of times on my phone. Let's see. Okay, we got Pete Marquez saying you were spot on with the review. Math finals aren't for another hour. Roundhouse kick. That's how I feel. That's how I've really felt that. You have to. I don't know. You have to be. Your review has to make your comic has to make sense. You can't have. If think about real life. I mean, I know comics aren't real life, but if I'm just I'm just a dude drawing, and then someone breaks into my house, I'm not gonna roundhouse kick them. I'm gonna run. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna grab the freaking sriracha bottle and a knife, and I'm gonna freaking blind them, and then I'm gonna Have you guys ever thought about this? Have you ever thought about this? In those movies whenever the character grabs a knife and then they throw it, and the blade always sticks into them. The blade always sticks into them. My biggest fear is that I'll get into a situation, and I have 2 biggest fears actually, action fears. My first one is that I'm gonna grab a knife and I'm gonna throw it at the person, and then the handle's gonna hit them, and they're just gonna be like, "Well, you're dead now." I don't know. Has anyone ever thought about that? throwing a knife at someone and then just the handle hits them, and then now you're screwed and you're weaponless, and now you gotta just like get on your knees and like, I don't know, beg for your life. And then another one, and I don't know why I'd ever be in this situation, is where I see like a bomb. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. It's like I see a bomb. I don't know what situation or world I see a bomb, but I see a bomb and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a bomb. So I start running towards a window and I jump and I hit the window, but I don't break it. So like I hit the window and I like knock myself out, and then I die in the explosion. Because I wasn't strong enough to break through the window. I don't know if that's like a legit fear. But I've definitely thought about it. Which would suck. Which would absolutely suck. Oh man, I don't know, guys. Yeah, I don't know. And there's not a lot of things I'm afraid of. When I was in South Africa, I had a gun in my head a couple times. I've had a knife to my throat. I'm not really scared of those things. I'm scared of the aspect of dying, but I feel like I can handle myself in those situations pretty well. Crap, I just hit my finger. Yeah, see, gun on my head. Don't even worry about it if I smash my finger. Yeah. So yeah, guys, thanks everyone who's been watching. Just want to do an early morning stream. I haven't done this in a while, so don't worry. I'm going to start doing these again. Starting Monday, there's going to be an episode. Monday, Tuesday, hopefully we're going to have a whole new episode every single week next week. It's going to be super exciting. Demons Volume 1. I'm getting the books on Friday. I'm so excited. Let's see if I can show you guys a picture. Let me screen share it. I'm just pulling up my Comixology. Guys, if you don't read Comixology, if you're not Comixology, it's a great way to read comics. It's really, there's always deals. Like I said, I got 4 graphic novels. They're all like 200 to 500 pages, and each one was only $4.99. That's such a freaking good deal. And it's a good way to support creators. I sometimes I can't buy the complete, the physical stuff. All right, let's see if let me screen share this real quick. Screen share. I want to show you guys the books. They're printed right now. Boom. Start screen share. Okay. Yeah, check this out, guys. So this is the picture that the publisher sent me. The printer sent me. Copies of my printed book. Because of the flash and the lighting, obviously, you're not gonna get the full effect. But look at right there. That's a thick book. I didn't think it was gonna be that thick. Not a bad thing though. Not a bad thing. This volume being that thick. There are 5 issues in there. It's 122 pages. So yeah, once I ordered a bunch of these. I ordered 2 boxes full of these books. So once I send the rewards to the Kickstarter, I'm then going to have a store online where you can buy. If you weren't able to support on the Kickstarter, you'll be able to buy them on the store, and I'll send it out to you. And yeah, what's up, Daniel? That says looks cool. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm super pumped about it. I'm super pumped to see these books. Because I've had them in floppy form. I have them in floppy issues. But I love graphic novels, and I'm super excited for these. And, I'm super excited, for volume 2. I'm super excited for volume 2. Did I, let's see if I, I'm going to show you maybe, guys, because I love you guys so much. I want to show you guys the cover to volume 2, which will come out in February. Okay, here we go. All right, now let me, all right, now stop screen share. And now let me show you this screen share. This is the cover right here for volume 2, which comes out in February on Indiegogo. And I really hope you guys support the book. It's going to be more than 122 pages. So here is Volume Two's cover. I really like it. I don't want to explain what the reasoning for is because it'll spoil the story. But Travis Martinez, he did such a good job with the cover. I was really proud of him. He just nailed it in the park. And here's the thing. I never tell Travis what to do with the covers for the most part. He reads the story and then he creates a cover for himself. And I think he nailed it. I think he really nailed it. So and here's the sucky thing about being a creator. Let me just rant real quick. The sucky thing about being a creator is you have all these ideas, and as a comic book creator, you there is no way to get these ideas made very quick. It's not. So like if I want to create a comic book, I have to write it, and then you either have to draw it yourself or you have to find an artist. And finding an artist means you got to pay an artist, and then you have to work on their time schedule. But then if you draw it yourself, you have to then spend all the time to draw your comic book, and that takes freaking forever. And then what about the people who want you to draw their comic book? That's money that you could be spent that you could be getting instead of like making for yourself. So it's like this huge conundrum of just like wanting to create comics. The Series of Demons is almost 100% complete. Travis has like 4 more pages from volume 3 and then it'll be finished. But ever since I've been like going back to it, I've wanted to go back into creating more stories. Christopher C, are there any plans for breaking those up into single issues since each volume is 5 issues? They're all in 5. You know what I'm going to do is if you want the physical book, it'll be in a graphic novel. It'll be graphic novel, then there'll be a digital graphic novel. But if you only want them in individual issues on the store that I'm going to create, you will be able to get all 5 single issues, not in floppy form, but as digital comics. That's what I'm thinking. Because I don't want to have to like print like floppies again. I kind of want to keep all my books in graphic novels, but if you want to buy them digitally, you can buy them in the single issues. I don't know. What do you think about that, Christopher? You think that's a good idea? Let me know in the chat. But yeah, since I'm working on books right now. I'm working on Undead Row with Wes Nodell. I'm having a great time with that. But I'm also working on the Hardline. That's my next book that I'm drawing and writing, and I'm like in the 3rd issue right now. There's 6 issues. And then, but then I have a story that I want to draw called Small Town Violence. And it's going to be a 60-page comic. But then I also, since revisiting Demons, I want to do like another like 4-issue series. And it's going to be called Demons Case Files, where it's in the breakup. It's in between volumes 1 and 2. And it's about the characters and they're going solving, supernatural crime, since that's what they do in between the books, in between these impending threats. And I just don't have time for it because I don't want to hire an artist because I want to draw the book myself, but I just don't have time. That right there is going to be the crux of my life, is I don't have time to create these books at all. It's absolutely nuts. Always more ideas than time to mail them. It's hard. It's super hard. I just want to make these books. And they take time. They take so much time. Chuck Pino, I finally found the chat. Hey, Chuck, hold on. Hey, Chuck. All right. Guys, the show's going to end in 10 minutes, but I'm going to see if Chuck wants to go on. Chuck is the creator of Welcome to the Void. Chuck's creative. Hey, Chuck, I sent you on Facebook the link to the chat, the link to the video. If you want to get in, we can talk for like 5 minutes. Daniel Library, got about 5 stories in mind, plus one I'm making with my dad. Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. That reminds me, dude, Daniel just reminded me. I have another idea that I want to create. It's like a superheroes, and it's got to do with food. And my wife and I. And my wife, she and I are gonna do it together, and that's just so much time. That is just so much time. there's like, and it's so hard. It's so hard. Daniel, that's cool though. About working on a comic with your dad. Um, Someone else did that. I think it was Jeffrey Haas on the show. Christopher C. I don't. A single issue should cost about $7, and it seems to be a good way to hook people into spending the 30 to 50 for a full graphic novel. Yeah. So, my plan is that the single issues will be like maybe $5, and then it's like, the graphic novel will be still around 30 to 40, probably $35. And then the 5 issues will be, I don't know, $7. That's what people have been doing. What's up, Chuck? How you doing?
I'm getting dressed. What's going on with you, buddy?
Oh man. Oh man, guys, Chuck, this is a PG show, everyone. Don't leave. Guys, Chuck is the creator of Welcome to the Void, the comic that we reviewed this morning. If you haven't, been watching, then you should freaking go back and watch, the review where we talk about it. But, Chuck, how did I do on my review? And this is straight from the creator, guys. So how did I do?
Honestly, I very much agree with you, including the negatives. The thing about comics is we gotta be learning as we go. And so there were a lot of things that I didn't understand. Like, writing is something that I've taken seriously my entire life. My wife and I met as amateur writers. Writing is something I'm good at. But art, lettering, all that stuff, that's not my forte. I didn't fully understand this. And so a year ago, or even longer than that, actually, when we started Welcome to the Void, there was so much that I didn't know. And it's great because as we're making this next issue, there's so much of what you guys are telling me and what I've learned and whatnot that we can take into making the next issue better. So the thing is yeah, they're like, the choreography on that fight sucks. I could go over you. That was a fight in and of itself to get those pages done. And so, yeah, it's not amazing, but eventually it's like, guys, you either release something or you release nothing.
No, yeah, you'd rather have a project that's finished, not perfect. I know.
Yeah.
If you guys follow Jake Parker on YouTube, he's an awesome, like, he's a huge creator. He's worked for Marvel. He's worked for every other studio out there. He lives, his studio is down the street from my place. But he has a saying called finish, not perfect. You're never gonna get it perfect. There's a girl in this area, and she's been working on her number one issue for 3 years. And I'm like, just because just the writing aspect, she could draw it, but she's like, it's just not perfect. I have to get all 13 issues perfect before I do this. I'm like, you should just put it out, and then you'll learn after you've done it.
She needs to get an editor.
she's been complimented a little too much, I think. And so, when you get complimented too much, you kind of have this I can do everything myself,
yeah,
kind of thing. But not everyone's comic, I think every comic needs to be reviewed by someone who has no skin in the game. I was saying on the show, my comics have been ripped to shreds by bloggers, review sites, YouTube. I just go, dang. Well, next one. I hope you guys like this next one better. And it's nice if the reviewer goes, hey, that one was a little better than that one was, but you fixed these issues, but then you didn't fix this one. You go, oh, okay. And then you try to constantly get better. But if you keep having people no, you did a good job, it was great, then you don't learn anything from it.
Yeah. I like the two things that you definitely got as well. I agreed with you with the negatives almost completely, actually. I liked that you mentioned the cover, because honestly, I don't even know what else we would have done as a cover. I had an initial cover and it was just black with Welcome to the Void and kind of like a star, I don't know, a starburst. And I just wanted to be super mysterious about it. I wanted you to not know what was in there. And everyone was like, no one will pick up that book. You will have to sell every single issue. And I was like, you're right. You're right. I hated it because I love the idea of being mysterious, and maybe I can do that on the graphic novel when it's got a name for itself. But right now, no, it needs to be sold, and so having an Oriental dude on the cover in an apron just was not going to sell the book. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Well,
And
yeah. I mean, that's what I thought. I mean, when I was like, I didn't like the cover. I mean, I liked the cover, but like, I felt like it was misleading. But then I was reading the book. I was like, okay, as an artist, what would I draw? And I'm like, there's no other thing. There's no, like, you just had to put that guy on
yeah,
there. But that's what entices. That's what, guys, also, guys, making comic books is fun. Always have fun when you're making comic books. If you want to do this as a business, though, you need to have a business mindset and you
hmm
need to sell the comic. And you might, someone might think, oh, that cover, it's got nothing to do with the book. You go, yeah, but you know what? It attracts people to buy the freaking book. And that's, I know I liked the cover. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to keep reading it. And then you go, and then let them at the end realize that guy's not in there, but they bought the book.
yeah. Well, and the thing is that Welcome to the Void, the name, everything, it was all based on that final page, that last beat. That is the first thing that entered into my head when I created the name, when the story came out, all of that. And so it was so important to me that I needed to allude to that even on the cover. It's just that is the most important moment in the entire issue, maybe in the series, because that's where it all begins. That exact moment.
And
And
that
so,
the comic called Welcome to the Void. I mean, is the whole series going to span on that one moment then?
well, it's going to expand on the void itself. So the thing is that like when you read Captain America, it's a Captain America book. Manny is our protagonist right now, and probably for a long time. But I'm not against that changing. It's not about Manny, it's about the void.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's I wanted people to understand that right away. It's about the void. We could the last character, you don't get to get his name, but you get it right away in the next issue. His name is the Caretaker. And
Oh,
so
that's baller.
thank you.
That's baller. I got chills just listening to that. I'm like, oh.
So the caretaker, maybe we'll see more of him. Maybe like you don't know. I don't even know 100% where it's gonna go. I'm just open to the fact that it's not Manny's story, it's the void story. And it's the story of reality and the void.
Well,
And so
a lot of
yeah.
creators kind of lock themselves down though with like, my main character is the protagonist, and I was feeling that way with a lot of the books I was working on the very beginning, and so that's why Demons. It's just called Demons because I have enough characters in there where I'd be like, you know what, this issue 5, the main character Ace not even in it. It's all the sub characters. But then if I want to plan on another series with a whole new character and cast, I can do it because it's not about the main character. It's about these demons. All my comic books these days have been like that. I mean, I have the hard line, but it's called the hard line, an Edge City Tale, because I want to do a book. I can do other characters that live in Edge City. The characters aren't the
Yeah.
story. The city is the story. Just like like the Void is the story of the book.
Yeah.
So, and it opens
And,
you up. You could do so many cool characters in the Void.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, and trust me, there's a lot in here. One other thing I want to do, because you're talking about music as a storytelling device, um, I'm really big on like Easter eggs and that kind of thing. And so if you look to the name of the issue, it's called Into the Void. And Into the Void is actually a song by Black Sabbath. I am a big metalhead, and this is a little ode to metal. The series. Manny is a big metalhead. So that first song that you were going over, those lyrics that you love, they're actually a song by I believe it's the Misfits lead singer, and he it's actually for a thing called Roadrunner United, and that song is awesome, and it's super fast, it's super punky, it's super cool. But Into the Void is a song by Black Sabbath, and it talks about going into the unexplored, and they're talking about space. But if you read it, you can also imagine how it would feel to go into the void, go into somewhere you've never been before, not knowing what's going on. And so each issue has a song title as its story or as its name. And so the next issue, it's called Of Fire and the Void. And it's a band called Behemoth, another metal band. And if you go into their lyrics of that particular song, it will expound more about the issue. And so each issue, you can find out stuff about the issue just by enjoying the song. You
Hey, you
don't
know
even
what?
have to have read the comic yet.
Do you know it's a good marketing tactic then? Do you know what Spotify is?
I do. I know a little bit. Yeah.
Dude, okay. If you start a Spotify account, you can create a Welcome to the Void playlist, and then everyone who gets that, who reads it, they can on the back you could say like listen to the Welcome to the Void playlist, and they can click on that, and they can all have those songs.
And I would love to do that because that's always been in my head is to have that playlist, and the idea being that you get to have this playlist of really cool metal songs that you can enjoy and love and read along with the series. So yeah, I see that happening.
No, that'd be cool. I got a question here.
Yeah.
I'm turning it into a question, but it's from Christopher C. It says anthology stories are where it's at these days. So my question though is because um the Welcome to the Void is like the world is so expanding. Let me premise it with like my experience with the hardline. When I created the hardline, before I did the main story, is I let 5 creators create their own 2-page stories within the hardline universe.
Ooh.
And then I just said, and so now I've got like 20 pages, and then more creators did it. And I have 20 pages of 2-page stories that don't like have to do anything with the main story, but they take place in the setting.
Okay.
Would you and so with that kind of anthology story, do you think you'd ever open it up to like creators saying, hey, 4 or 5 creators, you can each have like 4 pages, take a stab at the void. You're like you create like tell a 4-page story and we'll put it as an issue. What do you like, or like a
I
back?
think I I think I totally would. Absolutely. I think that sounds like a lot of fun actually.
Would it be hard letting it would it be hard letting like a like would you be scared though, like with like the rules? Like have you created the rules of the void?
Yes, I have. And what's great is that right away in the next issue, it's Caretaker and Manny, and he gets to expound upon the strongest rules. So I mean, he goes through stuff right away. This happens, that happens, blah blah blah. This is how it works, and so you will get that. So if someone wanted to do that, yeah, I would just
Give
shoot
them the
them that
rules.
issue and just be like, look, this is the basics of what you're going to need. If you have any questions, let me know and and I'll help you through it. But yeah, I think it's important to get our rules out pretty quickly. I've heard a couple people say, man, this issue should have been longer. Like you should have told the rules. You should have gone beyond that moment. And I'm like, no, for me as a storytelling device, it needed to end on that huge cliffhanger. So I wanted people to not know um,
What was coming
what?
up?
Well, yeah. Like I wanted the if you just say "Welcome to the Void," is it really a welcome? Like how is this guy gonna kill you? Is he your friend? Like what is he? I have and it was kind of funny. So you talked about the moment where his head was suddenly out of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was a mistake that I saw too, and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, that happened too quick." So I actually made a Welcome to the Void half issue. It's
Okay.
it's 4 pages. It's coming out very soon, and it actually fixes some of the small things that went wrong in that issue. And what's really cool is it has the same art. It's all the same panels, but it's the caretaker and a mysterious someone else watching the goings on from the void and commenting on them. And so you get to basically kind of see these people behind the scenes, see them watching Manny and what their interest might be in him, and then they get to kind of affect the scene. So then the shit that we screwed up on seems like it's all on purpose.
Well, that is such a super smart thing to do. What made you think of doing that?
Actually, Travis Gibb is a good buddy of mine, and he was like, man, you should, we're doing this thing with Rob Anderson from Indie Advocates called The Advocator. And so what The Advocator is that you do a 4-page issue of one of your ongoing tales. So you would do one of demons. And what happens is it means anyone who has been a part of that advocator, it's an anthology, they would take that to a convention, sell it, and the idea is that hey, this is my book, this is my story for my series, and it expounds upon that. It also expounds upon these other ongoing series, which are terrific and you should check out. And so you're selling your book, but you're also advocating for these other great ongoing tales that are going on. And so he told me, he was like, man, it would be really cool. And I'm like, dude, I can't afford any more art. And he's like, no, you could do something with the art you've got. And that got my head spinning. And I was like, yeah, I could have someone watching from the void and blah, blah, blah. And it blew up in my brain. And that's when I was starting to get reviews in. And there were some, there was some people who were like, I didn't like this. I didn't like that. And I'm like, cool, let's fucking fix it. And so that's my fix.
And I like that, that you acknowledge. That's the biggest thing, is that you acknowledged it, and that you didn't make excuses for it. And then you're like, yeah, you're right. We goofed, and we either going to fix it or you just got to live with it. Those are really your only two options.
Yeah.
That's really all you can do, and there's nothing wrong with creators goofing. I've goofed on every issue of Demons, and I don't know why Travis Martinez is so nice, but he goes, hey, this doesn't make sense. And I'll be like, why? He goes, because you wrote in last issue that the kid was 5 and you're saying that he's 8 now. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
3 years later.
Yeah, exactly. And he's dude, Travis, like the continuity error, because like each volume takes place like there's like a year or two apart of each volume. And man, Travis has just got that continuity, just like, hey, this is wrong. Hey, you messed up on this. And I'm just like, hey, listen, artist, like I'm the writer here, but no, just take into account, our writing is not perfect. I think that's awesome. So when does Welcome to the Void issue 2 come out?
We're going to be kickstarting early next year. I'm thinking probably February. I have the pencils and inks done to like page 18 or 19. And we've got coloring already started for the first couple pages. So yeah, there's no reason why it shouldn't be done early next year, kickstarting out. I'm really excited about this issue because again, it explains the void. You get to see that, and then you get to see how we as a people, and this is kind of my take on actual magic, my belief that magic is a real thing in our world. We just don't understand it. We don't see it. And so I get to show you that, and how the things that, psychics and Wiccans and faith healers and all that kind of stuff, they're actually tapping into a real magic and they don't understand that. And so I explain that with the void.
That's awesome. And, with magic, it's always so scary, like creating a story that has magic, because if you don't create those rules, there's no structure, and the reader's not like invested into it. Like the cool thing about Harry Potter, the reason why people liked it is because everyone knew the rules of the magic. They understood the boundaries to an extent.
Yeah.
To an extent, I guess.
No. I agree with you. I was actually going to expound upon that. That's why.
Go for it.
No, well, because in Harry Potter's a great pick. Basically what's really funny is almost every Harry Potter novel, they go, yeah, this is the die hard rule. And then they break that rule towards the end, and you're like, but well, you said that was the rule. And you're like, yeah, oh yeah, except for with this. And it's smart because every rule can be broken. And so you just need to know ahead of time what your magic system looks like, how those rules are broken. So like, it was kind of cool at my first convention. I met my real first fan. And it was kind of cool because this kid comes up and he wants to buy the book. I sold it on him and he left. And that could have been the end of the story. But he comes back like an hour later and he's like, dude, that was really good, blah, blah, blah. I have some questions. And I'm like, wait a second.
Uh-oh.
Jim Lee is here. Arnold Schwarzenegger is here. And you sat down and you read my little $3 book? Are you serious? And he's like, yeah, man, it was really good. I'm like, okay, cool. Ask your question. He goes, time travel. Is time travel possible with the void? Did you even think about that? And I said, actually, it's one of the first things we talk about in the next issue. And he was like, really? I said, yep, you have to have your rules down right away. So time travel kind of is a thing, but I hate time travel, man. I hate it because
it can ruin everything.
Well, my problem with time travel is 9 times out of 10, the whole reason that everything went wrong is because you time traveled. And I hate that. Like, it's such a basic device. It makes sense, but it sucks. So my main hard and fast rule with time travel, though obviously anything can be broken, is in Welcome to the Void, you can't go back because you weren't there. Reality will find a way to deal with you.
Ooh, I
So
like
if you go back, there's an issue. Now, if you go forward, that's a whole other thing. However, it means that if you go forward, you can't come back again. And if you do, again, reality is a cruel mistress and she will deal with you.
Dude, that's super smart. I like that. I like that take on time travel.
Thank
A
you.
lot. Well, I'm pumped for issue 2, guys, and I hope you guys are pumped for issue 2 as well. Christopher C says Harry Potter was ruined with time travel to take more classes, but not to stop Voldemort. Time travel just makes it the reader go, "Oh, there's a loophole. Why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do this?" Kind of ruins everything. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And and you have to have those rules, and people love the structure of those rules. I had some dude at some comic book convention thing like 2 weeks ago. So, okay, like brought all the comics with all like 10 issues. I was like, what is this? And then he goes, okay, so in issue 9, you said that they couldn't do this. And they're trying to do this, but also in issue 8, you also explained this. So you telling me that in issue 12, they're going to have to do this. And I'm like, yes, like you figured it out. Like you figured it out. And I was
He gets a no prize.
Exactly. You get a get to know prize. Exactly. How are you selling your book right now?
Right now, I'm waiting for my mailers to come in and I need to mail out the Kickstarter. So technically I'm not selling it.
Okay.
However, at this point, I want to get people excited about it. I'm always down for, like, I had someone say, man, I really want to read it. And I was like, all right, here's a digital issue. And they're like, well, how much is it? And I was like, I want you to like it. I want you to buy issue 2. So, if I lose a sale on issue 1 so that you can jump on the Kickstarter for issue 2 and possibly, get the bundle where you get both, fine. I'm okay with that. So, if people want to read the issue, I am mailing stuff out soon, so they can always get in touch with me. You can track me down on Facebook, or you can track down my publishing wing, Bonfire Press, facebook.com/Bonfire Press. And we can work something out, and I can send an issue your way. They're $3 an issue.
Have you thought about starting a storeenvy.com?
We actually, my partner has the ability to do that on our website. So our website is in massive tooling, but when it's done, it'll be pretty badass.
Okay.
It's what he does for a living. So I'm pretty excited by it. We just have to get that all set up and whatnot.
Okay, yeah, because that's my plan is like once I get my Kickstarter books on Friday, and then
that's cool.
once I ship them all out to everyone, I'm then going to start a store envy and be like, you can here's the physical and here's the digital versions, and then they could take care of it for you. Granted, they take like 10%, but like someone got it.
Yeah, and that's the important thing. Someone got it. It's the same thing as like Comixology. Financially, Comixology is not worth it as a creator at all. However, to get your name out there, if you put your book on Comixology, make sure that they have a place to track you down, to track down the rest of the issues, to do all that stuff. That stuff's important.
No, for sure. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, this was supposed to be a 30-minute stream, but guys, I was just having a good time, and I haven't done this in a whole week. So yeah, everyone, welcome to the Void number 1. We got the creator Chuck Pino here, and you guys, if you guys have been watching the show, you guys have seen him before. So guys, and when issue 2 comes out, you bet your ass like Chuck will be on the show a couple times promoting his book, and I'll be promoting it because I'll be one of the first backers. Yeah, guys, and also my Kickstarter will be coming. My Indiegogo will be starting there on February as well. So we'll be some cross promote. We'll be doing some cross promotion.
Absolutely.
So yeah, all right, everyone, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, like and comment. Thanks everyone who's been watching. I know it was a super early morning show. My wife just woke me up at 4 a.m. so that she could go to work, and I was like, you know what, let's just do this right now. So and I kind of like this like black, like eerie, like like I look like all right, I'm gonna roast a book today. So yeah, all right, everyone, peace out.